Okay, we're going to take a look at Andrew's swing here. Hit him like a regular ball. Okay, let's take a look at a few things here. Alright, first thing we will want to do is we'll want to widen Andrew's base. He's got his feet a little too close. They're basically, heck, they're even inside the shoulders. So we're just going to want to widen them up a little bit. And the second thing we'll want to do, I really love how he's got his feet squared up, his knees, his hips, his shoulders, they all point toward the pitcher. There's nothing that's open, there's nothing that's closed, so that's really good. Okay. We can probably do without the hands bobbing up and down, up and down, up and down. We want to kind of get him set so he can always start his swing in the exact same spot every time. I think he's kind of getting caught in a situation where sometimes his hands are moving up when the pitch is coming, sometimes they're moving down, so it just adds a little bit of inconsistency to the swing. So if we had him set in one spot, then we could, he'd be more consistent. Okay, now let's take a look at the swing. First thing, very good. Head right down there on the ball. Seeing the ball hit the bat. Okay, but I want to take a look at this back foot here. If you see the back foot, watch how it's kind of stuck there. It's like stuck in cement. Really doesn't turn. What we want to do is we want to get those shoelaces turned toward the pitcher on the swing, completely around. See how you're kind of pointed toward the plate? We want them pointed toward the pitcher. What that's going to do is get that hip to fully rotate properly and on time. Hit him like a regular ball. Another thing I'd like to see is on the finish of the swing. See how the bat's here? His hand is like right there. I'd like to see him finishing with his hands up high. That's going to promote extension and give him more power. By finishing down here, he's going to roll over a lot of balls and hit a lot of ground balls to third, a lot of ground balls to short. If we can finish up higher here, it'll hit more line drives. These last two swings here, he really never gets push off that back foot into the front. See how he's kind of collapsing the legs here, and just all of his weight is back on his foot. We need to get more of that weight shifted forward. He finishes up, he's on his heel, his toes are up. It should be the opposite. His weight should be mostly on the ball of his feet, and that foot should be pushing into the front side. I believe he does it on the next one here too. Yeah, see how his weight's way back? So what we want to get to is where he's driving and turning that back foot, getting up on the toe at impact, and pushing into that front side. And by being a little wider with his stance, he'll feel more stable as he's doing that. So that's what we're going to work on with Andrew. And finally, one last thing. I like to watch his arm here. Sometimes it bends underneath first, and that back arm moves before the front arm moves. The first movement we want is with his elbow going toward the baseball and the knob of the bat going toward the baseball. Sometimes he'll collapse that back arm and it kind of flattens out the bat angle. so it's dragging through the zone a little bit, but we'll work on that later in the year. Um, the best thing to do is get him a little bit wider and work on his lower half first, and once we get the lower half fixed, then we'll worry about that up there at the top. But just so I can show you what I mean by this arm collapsing. Well, you didn't do it on that one. Let's see here. Maybe I can find one. He only does it some of the time. Yeah, there we go. Watch, see how that back elbow comes into his body? And look how the bat drags. So we'll work on that later in the year, but definitely good foundation because he's set up really well right there from the start. Hands are back. Like I said, he's all in alignment. We just need to get the bottom, the legs working a little bit better for us, and that'll go a long way.